Hey planty people, do you have pets? I'm sure a lot of you do. And some of those pets might even like to chew on your plants. And that means you should know which plants could make them sick or worse. One excellent resource for this is the Asparagaceae website. If you ask Google if a certain plant is toxic, it's usually the first search result to come up. They list plants toxic to dogs, cats, and horses, and you can search for most any plant. I've only found a couple that weren't listed, and the entries are very comprehensive. There's even a poison control hotline you can call if you're not sure what to do. Since I have a very dear friend who happens to be a parrot, we can't leave the birds out of this discussion. Northwest Parrot Rescue has a comprehensive list of plants that are toxic to birds and their symptoms, and both of those links are in the description. But there's one thing the Asparagaceae does not do, and that's sort their plants into degrees of toxicity. Not every toxic plant is deadly to your pet. Some will just give them a tummy ache. And then only if they eat it. Most are okay as long as they're out of reach. Then there are some that you just shouldn't even consider bringing into your home or garden. The cat people out there are nodding their heads right now and thinking, she's talking about lilies. Yes, I am. Lilies are so toxic to cats that even a bit of the pollen can cause severe kidney damage and even death. So leave those potted Easter lilies at the grocery store. Choose a bouquet without a spray of stargazers. And if your cat likes to hang out in the garden with you, there are plenty of other flowers to grow that won't kill Mr. Fuzzy Pants. There are some very toxic houseplants too. Pencil or firestick cactus, crown of thorns, poinsettia, those are all types of euphorbia. And most euphorbia can be dangerous around pets. They have a toxic sap that can cause vomiting, diarrhea, and gastric distress, but it's also a skin and eye irritant, and in rare cases, it can cause respiratory distress. If it's not dealt with immediately, it can even cause blindness. So save the euphorbs for the petless planty people. A lot of common toxic houseplants only cause mild reactions, and these are harmless as long as your pet doesn't eat them. Most basic houseplants, pothos, philodendron, ficus, schefflera, they're only mildly toxic. Ficus plants have a milky sap, latex, which you've seen if you've ever broken a leaf off, and that can cause vomiting and diarrhea. But as long as they haven't ingested too much, it's mostly harmless. Sansevieria or snake plants are only mildly toxic. They contain saponins, which cause vomiting and diarrhea. And like ficus, a small amount is usually harmless. Pothos, philodendron, and schefflera all contain calcium oxalate crystals, which get embedded in the soft tissue of the mouth, and that causes oral irritation and possibly vomiting and diarrhea. Not the worst thing that can happen, but you still don't want your pet going through that kind of distress. Dieffenbachia has calcium oxalate crystals as well, and some varieties have a proteolytic enzyme that can make the oral irritation worse and can even cause the throat to swell shut. So just make sure to keep these way out of your pet's reach. Now, all the cat people are wondering where that might be. Well, if you have a cat that's a leaf chewer and a climber, just don't choose a Dieffenbachia. The good news is that eating one of these plants with calcium oxalate crystals is usually an unpleasant enough experience that your pet will never try that again. But hey, some critters just want to watch the world burn, or at least watch you clean up their puke. So you know your pet better than I do, and if you have a four-legged nihilist, just choose your plants carefully. So now that you know what not to get, or at least to keep out of reach, Let's talk about non-toxic plants. First, true ferns. They're basically no more harmful to eat than lettuce. But true ferns don't include plants in the Asparagaceae family, the plumosa, the retrofractus, the spranger, and the myri all flower and make little berries that are toxic to humans and animals, although they're fine as long as they don't make berries or if your pet doesn't eat them. I've had my retrofractus for about 6 years and it's never flowered or made berries. They rarely do indoors. But Boston ferns, holly ferns, maidenhair, bird's nest, staghorn, autumn, and way too many others to list are all true ferns and completely non-toxic. All true palms are non-toxic, with a caveat. If your pet likes to eat the fiber from the trunk, and some palms are more fibrous than others, they can have a hard time digesting it. And even more important to remember, Sago palms are not true palms, they're cycads, and they're very toxic to animals. In fact, the ASPCA reports that up to 50% of the cases of ingestion are fatal, so that one's a big no. But here are some with no caveats. Phytonia and Hypoestes are common houseplants that have lovely colorful leaves, and they are both non-toxic. Any and every type of peperomia. There are so many varieties, but you know, these guys, all of them. All varieties of Pilea are non-toxic, and like peperomia, there are tons of varieties. Here are 24 I found with just a quick Google search. Chlorophytums, or spider plants, are all non-toxic, and there are a lot of varieties of these too. Pachira aquatica, or money trees, are pet safe. Calathea, though challenging, and their less challenging cousins, the Marantas, are completely non-toxic. All the holiday cactuses, the Schlumbergera, are safe. In fact, since many cacti evolved a different type of defense, spines, most of them are pet safe, although the spines aren't, so spiky boys can be a bad choice too. Aspidistra, or cast iron plants, are non-toxic and they're low light and drought tolerant, so they thrive on neglect. Norfolk Island pines are safe, although as prickly as they are, they seem like a bad choice for a snack anyway. Plectranthus, or Swedish ivy, is non-toxic, and there are several lovely varieties. There are plenty of non-toxic succulents too. Echeveria, Haworthia, Burrow's tail, sedum, sempervivum, aeonium, gasteria, lithops, all the stapeliads, and the Bocarnia recurvata, or ponytail palm. All air plants are non-toxic, from the big old Xerographica to the tiniest Tillandsia, the bloomers, and the fuzzy little guys. This is my kitty boy RP, and I'm very lucky that this little dude couldn't care less about my plants. Full disclosure, he did taste a few when I had a garden, decided they were yucky, and never did it again. Parents of small two-legged critters should follow these guidelines as well. Except for lilies being deadly, all of these warnings apply to toddlers. Anyone who spent time around a 2-year-old kid knows they will put anything and everything in their mouth. Make sure it won't make them sick. When we bring a pet or a child into our home, it's our responsibility to protect them, to make sure they stay healthy and safe. Choose your plants wisely and teach your kids, both furry and non-furry, to respect them, and everything will be fine. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments, and please like and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell to be notified when I release a new video. You can also find me on Instagram at planty.jen, where I share photos and tips as well. If you'd like to learn more about me, please visit my website at plantyjenstinylandscapes.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Time for that theme song.
If your plants look sad and you've lost all hope, tried everything, you're at the end of your rope, should you throw them out into the street? Nope, just ask Planty Jen. If you want to be a planty acolyte, learn the tips and tricks to keep them growing right. Water, fertilizer, and the right amount of light, just ask Planty Jen.